Have you ever wondered how you can sleep and cook a meal next to your bales of hay? Or how about parking your tractor next to your dining room table? Well, up until recently, your house and your barn were two separate buildings. Well, that's no longer the case with a Bardominium. If the idea of combining where you store your vehicles, equipment, feed animals, with where you eat and sleep, watch TV, shower, and go to the bathroom sounds wonderful to you, then building a Bardominium might be a great move. But before you run out and break ground, as with any type of structure, there are definitely some downsides that you'll need to know about. So stay tuned to this video. I did the research, a lot of research, and I'm going to share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly about building and living in a Bardominium.
Hi, Kevin Yoder, team leader of Yoder Real Estate, bringing to you valuable information about all things real estate and living and working in the Grand Rapids, Michigan area that you cannot find anywhere else. And if you like this video, make sure you like it and subscribe to it so that you can see more content just like this.
What the heck is a Bardominium? It's also known as a barndo. So by the way, for the rest of this video, I'm just going to make this easier for both of us. I'm going to call them barndos. This is an open concept building. Probably seen them around. It's either made from metal or wood, and it combines living quarters. As I said, you can sleep right where your tractor is, maybe. It combines that living area with a work area. But in all seriousness, though, they actually separate those. Usually there's a loft where your bed is, and then down below would be the actual barn component of it. But it actually, this Bardominium term became famous when Chip and Joanna Gaines, if you've seen their television show, HGTV, Fixer Upper, they turned an existing barn actually into a very beautiful home. And that's really what kicked off this whole Bardominium craze. So the living area, as I mentioned, it includes the same comforts and amenities that you'd find in a regular house. And it has like basic things like plumbing and electricity and more luxurious things on the second story, as I mentioned, up on a loft, or even has an open floor plan, vaulted ceilings, and I'll give you a couple photos in this video that you can look at that shows you this awesome wraparound porch and covered porches. They're just gorgeous. But the working area of the Bardominium, which would be like the barn part, includes anything from a simple storage warehouse, those are the basic ones, with barn doors, or a large workshop. Working space can be customized, which is one of those benefits, and I'm going to show you the pros and cons, to really meet the needs that you have or the type of business you have, which is one of the benefits of having a Bardominium, is you actually can have your business right there and live in the same place as you're working and combine that space. It's a good benefit. A lot of questions come up for people because it's such a newer concept, I'd say in the last 5 years, where people are asking questions, and I'm going to answer those for you here today. The first one that comes up is they're wondering how long it takes to build a Bardominium. So most Bardominiums take about 3 to 6 months to construct. Of course, this depends, just like with regular construction, the amount of customization that's needed in your project. So in general, it can be completed in about 1/2 the time of a regular home. How about sizes? Popular sizes. People are wanting to know, what are the sizes I can get for a Bardominium? So the right size for you will depend on how much living space, as well as storage space and workspace that you actually will need. The popular sizes are a 1,200 square foot, 2,400 square foot, 3,000 square foot, 3,600 square foot, and of course, 4,200 square feet. So you're going to customize your Bardominium. I will include a couple links in this video as well that'll show you exactly how to do that. And the biggest question we get, and I was wondering the same thing, is how much is a Bardominium? How much will I spend on this project? So the cost of a Bardominium will vary as much as the cost of a home. We really have two options when it comes to a Bardominium. Number one is what's called a basic barndo kit. Basic barndo kit. This includes the essential components of the walls and the roof. Then there's something called a complete turnkey barndo. That includes every detail that you could possibly have, such as cabinetry, windows, and flooring. And again, I'm going to include a link below for a reputable builder so you can check it out yourself and customize one and just see what that would look like. So here's the average pricing for each basic component of a Bardominium home. They gave a range, and I went ahead and just gave the average here. So we'll do the average price for each area, each component, and then at the end I'm going to total up for you. Okay, so the kit's about 55 grand. Clearing land is about 3,200. A labor and assembly 45 grand. Insulation 2,250. Electrical 2,000. Foundation 9,000. HVAC 8,500. Plumbing 1,250. Sewer 5,750. Siding 17,500, and roofing 16,500. Woo! So this brings us to a grand total average cost $166,000. The average price for a 1 acre lot, by the way, in West Michigan is about $50,000. So the total price would be about $216,000 for a 3,000 square foot Bardominium. How does that stack up to a 3,000 square foot above grade home in West Michigan? About $600,000 for that product. So we're actually, you can see the savings that you're having here with a Bardominium versus a regular home. So what are the pros and cons of living and building a Bardominium? Let's start with the pros. All Bardominiums carry the weight of the roofing system along the perimeter. That makes the interior of the Bardominium similar to a warehouse, which gives you this open space. And that gives you endless design possibilities. And I think that's probably one of the biggest benefits of having this type of a home. Affordability, I already shared with you the pricing difference. Energy efficiency, longevity. Now, the interesting thing about the longevity, which I didn't realize this, is it said that you can enjoy your Bardominium for about 50 years. Well, I would say that that's not as long-lasting as a regular home, but it did list it as a positive, so I thought I'd include that here. I think that that remains open for interpretation. Durability, flexibility. Flexibility comes in the form of the flexible part of the garage and the shop and the warehouse and how you can really customize the interior because it's just wide open. Consider it like an open slate. So those are the pros. What about the cons? What's the downside of owning a Bardominium? Number one, and this is something that I pay close attention to because I'm in real estate. I'm here to help my sellers get the most amount of money for their properties and to treat them like investments. So the first thing is they don't increase in value nearly as rapidly as a traditional home. So you're going to look at this new market we're in. If the typical home is increasing value with 5 to 7%, maybe it's 5% in your area annually, you might go up 2% a year for a Bardominium. And the second thing is due to the lack of comparables, meaning there's not a lot out there, reselling it can be difficult because of the appraisal process, meaning an appraiser could go, if the buyer is getting a loan on the Bardominium, the appraiser would go out there and try to find like properties. That's going to be a challenge, and I'll tell you why in a minute what that looks like for our local area in West Michigan. The other thing is it's difficult to finance it. Regular banks aren't going to do it, but there are a couple lenders or a few lenders that specialize in it, and I'll put a link below for a lender that I found that does finance them. Now, I'm not affiliated with this lender. I just found one that appears to be rather reputable. If you're thinking about building a Bardominium and you're looking for financing options, if you're not paying cash, click on that link below and check them out. And then finally, it may be difficult to resell it. I mean, the reason why is because it's not a conventional home. And so while they're gaining popularity, they don't appeal to the mass market like traditional real estate. It's not a house. And so people may have a hard time with that. So since there's such a niche market with a floor plan that's customized to each owner's specifications, it may be difficult to sell in the future if you customize the heck out of it. You could really trick this thing out to have it be something that is just right for you. But what about for the next buyer? So something to keep in mind as you're customizing this, unless you don't want to die in that place, think about the end game. What does that look like in 10 or 20 years if you decide to sell it? Maybe make some customizations that you think that the mass market might also appreciate. And the final con, it would be finding a location to build your Bardominium in because of zoning restrictions. So it could be difficult. Bardominiums are really not allowed in cities and small towns due to the regulations. So they're more common out in rural areas where the building codes are more relaxed. So don't think that you can just drop this right in drop dead center in the middle of the city. You got to get out to the outskirts and you're going to have a much better luck with those relaxed zoning restrictions. Okay, interesting fact as well. I did a quick search for Bardominiums in West Michigan, and up until about 6 months ago, you couldn't search by that particular design style. So that's a recent change. There are only 5 active Bardominium listings in West Michigan. That actually surprised me. Only 5 in 0 Barndo sales in the last 12 months. 0 sales, 5 actives. Now that might be because they just changed that search function within the MLS, but still I was surprised by that very low activity. Only 5 actives. And guess what? The average days on the market is 115 days. That is contrasting to about 20, 25 days. So they're on the market longer and not one of them is sold. I hope you liked this video today about Bardominiums. If you like the video, please subscribe to it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and here we are bringing the realness back to real estate. I'm also trying to grow this channel. So who do you know that would benefit from information like this? Please share this with your friends and family. You can find us online at yoderrealestate.com, where it will help you sell or buy a barndo, a condo, or a traditional house. We've got you covered.